Hello and welcome to the Old Flyers. Recently I uploaded a story about young Australian pilot Jimmy Melrose. In 1934, when he was just 21 years of age, he flew a Portsmouth VH uniform Quebec Oscar solo from Australia to the UK in a record time. He was helped in his effort by his uncle Noel Billing, founder of the Supermarine Company. I must admit to not knowing about Billing, so went in search of his history, and what a story it was. Noel Pemberton Billing was born in 1881 in North London and is remembered as a British aviator, inventor, publisher and a Member of Parliament for Hertford in the UK. He ran away from home at the age of 13 and travelled to South Africa. I have no idea how he did that. After trying a number of occupations, he joined the Mounted Police and became a boxer. He fought in the Second Boer War and was at the relief of Ladysmith. Billing returned to Britain in 1903, experimenting with gliders, and opened a successful garage in Kingston upon Thames. Convinced of the potential of powered aviation, he founded a flying field with extensive facilities on reclaimed marshland at Fambridge in Essex in 1909. These are indeed early years of aviation. However, this didn't prosper, perhaps because British aviation activity was becoming centred at Brooklands. In 1913, he bet Frederick Handley Page £500 that he could earn his pilot's licence within 24 hours of first sitting in an aircraft. He won his bet, worth £28,000 in today's money, and his licence number 683. Secretly, he had begun taking lessons. The money was used to found an aircraft business, Pemberton Billing Limited, which specialised in the sale of steam yachts. Billing registered the telegraphic address Supermarine Southampton for the company, which soon acquired premises at Oak Bank Wharf in Woolston, Southampton, and started construction of his flying boat designs. Their first aircraft, the PB-1, built in 1914, only flew for a few metres, wasn't a success. The next aircraft was the PB-9, notable for being built in 7 days. The PB-23, PB-25 and PB-29 followed. From here on, I'll share video of submarine designs for your interest. In 1914, Billing joined the Royal Naval Air Service. He was able to sell his share in the Pemberton Billing Limited to his works manager Hubert Scott Payne in 1916, who renamed the firm Supermarine Aviation Works Limited. During World War I, Billing had advocated for the creation of a separate air force unattached to either the British Army or the Royal Navy. He was critical of the Royal Aircraft Factory, saying they were wasting money tinkering with science rather than producing aircraft capable of countering the Fokker scourge of 1915, early 1916. Billing founded and edited anti-Semitic and homophobic weekly journal The Imperialist, which supported his parliamentary campaigns, later renamed Vigilante. His inflammatory articles in that magazine, which I couldn't mention because that would violate YouTube's code of conduct, led to a sensational libel case at which Billing represented himself and won. Lord Alfred Douglas, a former lover of Oscar Wilde, testified in Billing's favour. In 1917, he published Air War and How to Wage It, which emphasised the future role of raids on cities and the need to develop protective measures. Billing decided to enter politics as a way to advance his views. He contested the by-election in Hertford and won the seat. In 1918, following a disagreement over parliamentary procedure, he was ejected from the House of Commons and suspended as an MP. He resigned his seat in 1921, citing that the House of Commons had been rendered unwholesome and unfair by Prime Minister Lloyd George. After World War I, he suffered increasingly from health problems, immigrating to Australia for a healthier lifestyle. It was from here that he was able to help his nephew Jimmy Melrose prepare for his epic flight. In Australia, he patented a recording system intended to produce gramophone records with 10 times the capacity of existing systems. Billings' world record controller fitted onto a standard spring-wound gramophone. That allowed over 10 minutes playing time per 12-inch side of a record. The higher cost of 10 shillings apiece prevented popular acceptance. In 1923, the factory was set up as World Record Australia Limited. Radio station 3PB, established in 1925, broadcast from this factory, favouring their own recordings. Today, we call that vertical integration. In 1936, Billing designed the miniature Compass camera. This complicated camera is shown here.
This is the Compass Camera 2, and today I'm going to show you how it functions. Now, this camera is an incredible piece of work. It was built by Jaeger-LeCoultre, which is the same Swiss company that still makes luxury watches today. This camera was built in 1937 through 1941, which makes it nearly 80 years old. There were only 4,000 cameras that were made. This camera has the honors of being one of the smallest 35mm film cameras ever made.
In 1948, he devised the Phantom camera to be used by spies. It never entered production, but its rarity led one to sell for £146,750, a record price for any camera in 2001. In 1941, Billing attempted to return to British politics, seeking to replicate his success during the First World War. As a critic of the conduct of the war, he advocated the defeat of Germany by bombing alone and the defence of Britain by a system of spaced light beams directed upwards, which would confuse enemy bombers. I can imagine the blackout wardens loved that idea. He also argued that there should be a separate women's parliament dedicated to domestic matters. Yep, you can't invent this stuff. Billing died in November 1948 at the age of 67 aboard his motor yacht at the quay in Essex. As for the Supermarine Aviation Works, they were bought by Vickers Aviation Limited in 1928, eventually absorbed into BAE Systems in 1999. Thank you for watching. Comments always welcome. Like and subscribe to encourage new content.